trying to get in. Ugh. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about UT, the University of Texas at Austin. That's where I went for college. And I really just want to talk about my experience there, my lessons that I got out of it, and what I learned, what a lot of people go through, and just tea, really. I just want to say everything that I want to about the University of Texas. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Side note, I also have a little bowl of oranges that I've cut up because if I just sit here and talk to you all, it's not the same as me eating. But don't worry, I'm going to get into everything I want to say about UT. So my inspiration for this video really just came from my own experience. I want to start out by saying, you know, when I was a senior in high school, a lot of people would tell me, you know, UT is so expensive. UT is a party school. UT, it's all nothing but drinking. UT this, UT that. I felt like I was kind of judged for wanting to go there, or for saying I wanted to go there, you know, for choosing that school. But in my eyes, I kind of saw it like as an additional challenge. Like, you know, the fact that people kept telling me bad things about it, I was like, watch me get into it, you know, watch me. Because a lot of people generally think, you know, oh my gosh, like only the best students go to UT, which can't lie. But it is one of the top schools, you know, so a lot of people are like, no, you know, keep dreaming, or whatever it may be. A lot of people are really, really negative on the price, on the school, the location. Austin, people talk really bad, or used to, about, you know, Austin being a party school, party city, that 6th Street is there, you know, is a party town. I'm not gonna lie, it is. It is. It is.
It was at this moment that he knew.
But when I was a senior, all that just fueled me, really. All that I saw is like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I'm going to go there, and I'm not gonna fall into that. I thought of it at the time as a statistic sort of deal, you know, because at my high school, a lot of people wanted to go out of town to different colleges. I didn't want to be that one to come back. I feel like people would talk bad about that type of person. So it was a challenge just saying that I wanted to go. I feel like I just couldn't be myself. I had to be really selective on who I chose to tell. And especially my parents, you know, they were always like, well, that's really expensive. I don't know how you expect to go there, this and that. And to be honest, you know, it doesn't matter how I paid for it or whatever. It doesn't matter how I got that covered. It's more so like, to me, it was about, there's so many private colleges and like other top schools that are so much more expensive. UT is not that bad. I think it's, I want to say affordable, you know, for college. Obviously there's cheaper colleges, but for it being, you know, for it having the reputation that it has, I feel like the tuition price is a really good.
That
It's a fair price. Hello. So moving on into my very first year of college, I think that was such a rough time. And now, like as an adult, I see that it's really common your first year, you know, to be going through it. I felt like I had it the worst. It was such a rough time, just personally, because in high school I was in cheerleading, okay? And it's really, really easy to make friends that way. Let's just put it like that. It's really easy to make friends that way. I feel like people know who you are already, you know, whether it's cheer or volleyball or whatever, like sports in general. I feel like you're likely to be more known. It's easier to make friends in that realm when you're active and when you belong to a group. So that's exactly how I felt my first year. I felt like there's like what, 50,000 plus students at UT, so it was so hard to get to know anybody. And even though like there's so many groups, so many ways to make connections, you know, UT really sets you up. I can't speak for other colleges obviously, but like UT truly sets you up your first year to get out there, to make friends, to be a part of something, you know. They don't want you just sitting around struggling with your academics. So my first year, I was a part of something called a first year interest group, and luckily that opened some doors for me. They actually match you up with people in your major, and it can range between like, I don't know, 4 or 5 students to about like 10, 12, 15 students. It's a semi-small group of people who share that major with you, and you all have a set number of classes together. So we had that one, like the first year interest group, you know, it was from a set time on a certain day. We would go and learn about all the resources that UT had to offer, and then we would have about 1 class together every single day. So that really helped me. Like, shout out to that program. It was awesome. I got really close with those people, and I also got pretty close with the mentor in there. She's awesome. It was just someone I looked up to, you know, because she was also a part of our major. She was just older, so she had a lot of advice to offer us, and it was amazing as a first year student. So you would think, I mean, at least I thought, that I was covered with that. I was like, oh, awesome, you know, I'm for sure gonna make friends. We have the same interests, like in our major. It's gonna be awesome. Wrongo. While I got close to some of them, you know, people still have different interests. It's so different. There's so many people, so many different things. Like, it's just hard it was hard to fit in, and I repeat that over and over just because I know a lot of people have that same issue. Just going to such a big university, I truly think you have to belong to something to be accepted, to be in the know, like to have fun, really, to experience things. You have to belong to a crowd, like to have friends at all. So that was kind of difficult. That transition between high school and college and making friends, it was really, really hard for me. And I didn't live at the dorms, which I really recommend people do their first year, because I feel like you're just so much more accustomed to the campus. You get to know the campus a lot more. There's so many more events that you can be a part of, as opposed to living off campus, you know, the apartments that are not that far from UT, and then there's more common apartments that people live at that are like across the highway. So I still live close to campus, which I thought was really, really cool. However, I didn't get to meet a lot of freshmen, so that was kind of hard. You know, I wanted to go home at a certain time or whatever. It wasn't like, oh, my dorm's right there next to the gym, or my dorm's right there next to the communication school, whatever. It was so much harder. Like, I wanted to go home. I had to set blocks, you know, for me to be at school, me to be at home, and I tried to stick to that because I didn't want to walk home, you know, super late at night or whatever it was. I didn't want to do that. So I think as a first year, I really, really recommend you live on campus. I feel like that's one of the easiest ways to make friends, is being on campus. I also want to say that my freshman year, there was one professor who like changed my perspective. It was my very first semester, and as a freshman, or yeah, I believe as a freshman, you're required to take an undergraduate studies course, UGS for short. And I enrolled in one, not knowing that it was a popular professor. He really helped me find like my why. Why I was attending UT, why I was attending college in the first place. And I remember he would always aim at people specifically who were in a major that they didn't want for themselves, you know, whether it was, oh, my parents want me to be this engineer, doctor, a nurse. And he really got it out of us, like, well, why are you doing it? If your family wants you to do that, what's your true passion? How do you spend your time when you're not at school? And so all those kinds of questions really made me see, like, wow, you know, I'm here, I'm in college, I can do this, I'm going to get through it. So he really helped me find my why. I did stick with the major I was in. I didn't change, luckily, but He helped me see there were so many opportunities at UT and to definitely take advantage of those things. He really emphasized like to not waste your time with summers and just being home and doing nothing, like to spend your summers literally doing internships and volunteer work or traveling, like stuff to add to your experiences, not just for your resume but for yourself, you know, like that's why you're attending college. So to not waste those types of breaks, that was really, really neat. The course that I was in at the time was called Race in the Age of Obama, and it was the best course. Like, that professor was awesome. His name's Dr. Moore. I know what you were thinking. You were thinking Matthew McConaughey. It's not Matthew McConaughey. I never got to see him, sadly. That's another plus. Like, who doesn't want to go to a school where you have a chance of seeing Matthew McConaughey? I feel like that became a thing when I was like in my second or third year, and I never got to see him, but he's always at the games. Sometimes he's on campus, so you're likely to see him. So really, anybody who's watching this who is thinking of going to UT or just got accepted or wants to go to UT, transferring, whatever it may be, try to get a class with Dr. Moore. It doesn't have to be the UGS course, the undergraduate course. It could be, he has another one called the Black Power Movement. It's a history course, or it counts for something else as well. That was also super eye-opening. Like, his words are so just inspiring. He's such a good speaker and people love him. He's so relatable. He's great. So after really struggling my first year and feeling like I never belonged, I kind of let that pass by my first semester, and then my second semester it was the exact same thing. I was just so used to like not trying, you know, in academics. Like in high school, it was just all so natural to me. Like, that's an issue a lot of people have going to UT. You know, you come out of high school so smart, you don't have study habits, you don't have just good habits, good school habits. You don't know how to carve out your time, you know, specifically for school. You're so used to like things working out for you. I really think people just go to UT and think, oh, it's gonna work out for me because it's always happened like this. Or you're so used to putting like minimal effort and still getting a good outcome. So my second semester, I didn't try I don't mean academics, I didn't try like getting to know people. I just thought like it's bound to happen in my classes. You know, there's so many people. Like, I remember being so surprised that my classes were literally auditoriums. They're huge. They're the size of my high school auditorium. So there's so many kids in there, and I remember being just intimidated. Like, how am I not gonna make friends? How am I not gonna talk to the person next to me? How is someone not gonna have a question or bump into me or whatever? But it never freaking happened. I've never been my friends my entire first year. I never did. But let that be a lesson. Like, you're gonna get what you put out. So like, if you're putting effort into making friends, if you're joining spirit groups or sororities, fraternities, whatever it may be, if you're you don't even have to do that. If you're making an effort like to get to know people in your classes, it's gonna be a good outcome. You're gonna get to know them, you're gonna exchange numbers, you know, form a study group, whatever it may be, but you have to try, especially with a university that big. So with that being said, my second year, I joined a spirit group, and that really helped me meet people. You know, it was like an instant connection. They would hold different events and meetings, and it was so much easier to get to know people. I remember being so excited, like just walking across campus from one class to the next and being able to spot a friend. The chances of seeing somebody that I knew were like really slim, but after I joined that spirit group, I was able to like see people across the, I can't even say hallway, across the acre. That was a joke. It was supposed to be 40 acres. Across the buildings, like just seeing somebody, you know, walking so many feet away. It was so awesome to be like, hey, I know that person. And I was just so much more friendlier because it made me feel good. It's not like you can just walk up to somebody and make friends. You can't just be like, hey, you want to be friends? Like, no, we're older. That's not the way this works. And people already have their set groups. When I belonged to that spirit group, it was so much easier to identify with people and spot different people, or to get into their interests. So I remember meeting having really good friends that had their boyfriends a part of, you know, they're in this fraternity and they're in this spirit group. So I would go with them to their event. It just keeps going from there. You know, you're exposed to more people and more events, more experiences. And then after I joined that spirit group, I believe it was the end of my second year, where it was really like opportunities, professional opportunities were just dropping. They were just coming my way. I'm telling you, like, my professors, not just in my major, but general professors at that university really pushed for outside experiences and using the resources at UT to become the professional that you really are, that I am. I think it really helped me. You know, as I was getting those internships, it was so rewarding. You work so hard. I went my first year thinking like it was never gonna get better. I thought I was strictly there, you know, for school, that I was never gonna make friends, this and that. So then to make friends and then to be excelling in my career, my professional interest, it was just so awesome. And I remember the experiences that helped me get those internships was because of the things I was doing on campus. So just on top of my general classes, I was also doing a lot of research. It was extremely rewarding, you know, after so many semesters of me struggling, you know, with academics, my personal life, with friends and stuff, to finally be getting internships that I really wanted, or job offers that I really wanted, you know. And these weren't even just in Austin anymore. It was where my family's from, you know, back home. So that was amazing. I felt really good. And then my last year, I joined a sorority. Yay! So this one is also an experience within itself. I feel like I'll make a completely different video on that, on sororities, but I did join a sorority, and that was also super rewarding for me. I had been wanting to join for a while, so when I finally made the decision to join, it was so amazing, and it came like at the perfect time. So everything worked out in my favor, but also because of that sorority, like, I am the person I am as well. They also really pushed me, you know, to excel in my professional career. They've helped me with just interview techniques, with presentation skills, and so much more. I could go on and on. Joining that sorority was just like the cherry on top of like my entire undergrad experience. I feel like it was all very rewarding by that point. And I just want to say, like, you will get through it. Whether you're a person who's interested, whether you're a current student at UT and like feel that you relate to these things, like you don't belong, it's gonna be okay. Like, you just have to get through, push through, find interest. And there's so many people at that campus. It's bound to happen. Like, you're gonna find people with your interest. Just all the opportunities that they offer and the resources, I try to like preach on that, because they have so much to offer. Even as a Texas X, like as an alum, I'm able to give back. I'm able to go to different events. They even hold events in different cities. You're able to give back and still be an active part, you know, of that experience that you have so much pride for. I really want to say, like, UT has opened so many doors for me. Just having that in my background was such a big accomplishment within itself. I feel like there's people who instantly click with me, who instantly like understand things, you know. I just feel like I owe everything to UT. Like, they've really shaped me into the professional that I am. There's times that I come across like big hurdles or just issues in my career, and I think back to what I went through like in my undergrad experience, and I know I'm able to like get through it. And all the things that I learned, they just really help you for the professional world. Like, it's not just a game, you know. It's not something that you're going to potentially use or whatever. They set you up like for interviews. They set you up for the professional world, obviously, like knowing everything that they could possibly teach you. I owe it all to them. Like, I'm forever grateful. So if you did like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye!